Yo, 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 what is going on, COD Familia? It is your boy BN. Today, we are going to be talking and showing off all of the stats and data and numbers on who registered for the first ever Season 3 venture from the G1 or Gen 1 Kingdom pool, which Gen 1 kingdoms are skipping, and then we're going to show you some top 300 player power stats for those kingdoms on where we look at it top down, showing you all of them, and from strongest to kind of lowest powered, along with those that did skip and registered. As always, if you enjoyed the content, make sure you throw us some. Okay, there we go. Thanks, appreciate you. All right, so let's dive in. We had 94 realms / kingdoms that registered for Rise of the Dragon. To give you some perspective here is that if we look at Gen 1 and Gen 2, 95 kingdoms registered. This was back in December, early December of last year. Gen 2 matchmaking, which basically registration ended on the 1st, had 101 kingdoms. Right, just to kind of give you some numbers. And this was, again, January of this year, right? So about 2.5 months ago, about 3 months ago, and then previously 4 months ago for Gen 1. And so you end up getting a situation where you have 94 kingdoms. Okay, so you're close. It's not that bad. But there could have been a lot more, right? There is a healthy number of kingdoms that opted to not register and skip, where I believe that number probably could have been maybe around like the 120. Like it could have been the largest KvK pool that anyone has seen so far. But now that honor is most likely going to be bestowed upon the upcoming KvK season from that where we get the Gen 2 kingdoms coming out on March 4th. And then there's another set of KvKs coming out on March 11th. So I think this next KvK pool most likely is going to be the largest kingdom pool that we've seen in history. Now, most of you know my stance. I just wish that we would just combine all the kingdom pools and just have one KvK pool for kingdoms that are finishing pre-strife, that are in pre-war because they're going into season of strife, and then kingdoms that are already in season of strife that are in pre-war. And we should just combine them into one kingdom pool. That's how I would like to see it done. However, let's go ahead and show you also for Calling of Courage. 6 kingdoms here. Okay, now let's get into the deets. So the deets are as such. So I'm going to show you this top down, and then we'll do some number counting as well. So there's, again, we know there's 94. I believe there's about 60 or so kingdoms that are skipping, or basically that have a king or queen and opted to not register, right? So it's up to that amount that's going to skip. Unless any of those have skipped 3 or more times in a row, they will most likely get auto-registered for one of the KvKs in the current Gen 1 pool. However, these are the numbers top down. Everyone highlighted. Now, I will also go over some of the color distinctions too as well, and some of the text distinctions for those of you who may or may not be privy from watching the stream or one of the previous videos where I touched on this. For SOSDF, basically that means SOS Dragonfall, right? So that's the season they're currently in. Then we have SOS Pre-War. This means Dragonfall, like they were there already. Pre-War means that's where they are currently. Right? Dragonfall just means that's where they were before they came into pre-war. Then we have registered. Did you skip? Did you not skip? There's also some down here. Oh, sorry. It's actually on the left column. My apologies. So here, where we asked if you're going to skip, keep in mind, I asked people this before registration opened up. Then we have some yes, no's, undecideds. The DMDS means I direct messaged you on Discord because I had a Discord contact for the lead, R5, and or someone from management, which is an R4 or above. And then we have block. That really is just pertain to FSK because they love me so much. And then we have yes IO, which is yes, they are interested, but only if others skip, right? So they would skip if others did. Then we have the DMIG. That's a direct message in-game. Again, this is the R5. Usually it's 1 to 2 title officers as well at the time, if not more. And I think that's probably it. I don't know if I have any other distinctions. Oh, yeah, there was like one, which was like waiting on response because they did message, but they said they were going to tell me otherwise. However, let's go through this top down. Top 5 kingdoms, again, as of the data pulled on the 24th, so shout out to my boy Fuzzy. Top 5 kingdoms are skipping, right? That's BDO, Echo, RAC, and TSGG. The next 4 kingdoms within the top 9 are not skipping. They are registering, and that is RFF, NF57, WGL, NA. The next 3 are skipping. That's KOV, CODZ, sorry, I was going to say KODZ, CODZ, and LTS. Now, the interesting thing here about LTS is they are one of 3 kingdoms that backed out of registering in the last few hours, meaning they were registered, but then they unregistered. So they're skipping. So shout out to LTS, the homeboys and grills. Okay, then we got the next four, HOUW, FG, FSK, MM. They are skipping. If it has a light pink color, that means that they registered on day 2. Now, there are probably a couple others I missed for registering on day 2, but this was when I went back to do the next pool at my earliest convenience, right? So there could be a couple that I had missed, but just highlighting some that I noticed. Then we get the next ones here, which is skip. So we got 3 that are skipping. It's kind of interesting how most of the time it's like not 1-1-1 or like one by other, but you're seeing it kind of in batches, which is SSG, Don, Gen. They're skipping. POTC and Scent, they're skipping. However, I want to point something out here, which is that you have, where is it? The POTC was one of the kingdoms that said yes, they would skip if others did. They obviously did not, right? So they registered. We have these ones, DBB and AXT said they would skip, but they didn't, right? They ended up registering. We have a no, oh no, sorry, that's accurate, right? Then we have the VOS is X, right? So no, they registered. We have LAW, right? And actually MBH. These 2 kingdoms were registered. So it's interesting. LAW said they were going to skip. They registered, but then the last couple hours, they unregistered. Interesting. MBH was undecided, but they were registered, and then they pulled out at the last minute. Then we got VP22RK. They registered. MFD skipped. We have YBD and K282. They registered. KL7 registered. And then we have all these that registered as well. However, one, RNW did say they were going to skip, but they didn't. They opted to register. DAU skipping, Lassie R84, VH skipping, UST. Then we have Hyphen FU, shout out to my boy Snowman there, or free to play running the R5. And then we have some of the COCs. We have a skip here, ANCSs, WAN, AOS, they're registered. And then you can see a few others here. Like here, BOM, they said they were going to skip, but they registered. We have, let me see, another one here. K56 said they were going to skip, but they registered. Let me see here if there's any others. AVIC from 226 said they were going to skip if others, but they registered. And then SIW, I think from 370, said that as well. And ANGE from 385, they said yes, but they ended up registering. I think that might be it. Yes. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, yeah. MAD from 376, they said they were going to skip, but they registered. Okay. Now, let's look at this in an easier way. We looked at it top down. Let's take a look at this from the angle of just, okay, well, who skipped? Or sorry, registration going top down. So this one isn't going to be in chronological order, shockingly enough, but if you just want to know who is skipping and going into the next kingdom, this is it. Based on, I don't know if it is, I think it's, oh yeah, cool. So it looks like it is going to be based on power, top down. For those that's why it's not chronological over here. So you can see, and I'll just kind of go through each so you guys have an idea, just to be able to go through that. So we got 20 down to 38. And again, I'm sure you guys will probably pause and want to take a look as well. I removed a couple columns so my body wouldn't be blocking some of the power numbers. hopefully that's appreciated. Let's go to 57. So you're seeing here 63 kingdoms are skipping. I think it's 63, 64. It might be missing one, but 63 as of now are skipping. These are kingdoms that could have registered, right? And that's why I was saying earlier on, you could have had the largest KvK pool, right, in the history of the game thus far. And eventually we'll get larger kingdom pools, I imagine. And then we get into the kingdoms that are registering, right? And this is in order of power too as well. And I'm going to point something out as well near the end of the video that I think is really important because I don't know if enough people have been talking about it yet. But we'll go through this. I think it's paid to W. Yeah. And then again, right, we already know there's 94 kingdoms here, but I'm just showing you the ones that are registering that are in order of going down top power. So you guys can at least get an idea there on how that looks. Where was I at? 119. We'll go to, I think, 120. Yeah. So we'll go 120 here. And I think we have one more pass through, and then we should be good at that point. So 138, 139. Okay. Yeah, I think we're close. Maybe one more. But again, wanted to just kind of show you everyone here that we have. I think that's it. Yeah, oh yeah, because these ones down here don't have a king or queen. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, let me go through And I just want to mention something I think is interesting. So keep in mind, for Rise of the Dragon, it doesn't look like we're getting any teams. We're not going to get any classifications. We may not even get any Paragon statuses. It looks like they're going back to one of the ways they did this before, where they are going to matchmake the groups. Now, I'm going to do another video on this because I'm sure people are wondering, where I'm going to show you the PvP stats as well. So I'm going to try and get this out tomorrow on the 27th, where there is still, a day and a half or so left. And in that video, I'm going to show you kind of the journal breakdowns I usually have done, right? So we'll give you some T5 breakdowns. We'll give you some PvP stat breakdowns. We'll look at a little bit more advanced analytics, maybe some merits, etc. And then I will also give you my predictions for the matches that I think would be the best to see in the Gen 1 pool, right? So that's what this is. We'll focus on the Gen 1 pool. We will cover the Gen 2 pool once this starts, because we're going to have to wait, I think, until the 1st or so, right? So Brink of War starts on the 1st. But the season is probably going to start on the 7th or so. So we're going to wait for the Gen 1 season to start. And then we will review all of the kingdoms in the Gen 2 pool, and we'll do another review breakdown similarly to what we have done here. If there is anything in particular that you would like to see me cover, you'd like to see me talk about that I haven't already mentioned that we will be doing, please feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, being able to look at who registered, who's skipping, who's going into Follow the Dragon, who's going into COC, being able to look at those numbers top down, and some of the other maybe interesting contextualizing points for feedback and responses that I got from some of the kingdoms. This is a great one. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. for that as well. Later.